Sedriques DUMAS arrested, a deep dive into the allegations and the lingering question of a potential frame-up. Welcome back to the channel, fight fans. Today, we're diving into a developing story that has sent ripples through the MMA community, the arrest of UFC middleweight contender, Sedriques "The Reaper" DUMAS. Just weeks after his bout at UFC 314, news broke that DUMAS was taken into custody in Florida on a string of serious charges. While the initial reports paint a grim picture, a closer look at the details, coupled with DUMAS's past and the often complex nature of legal proceedings, leaves us with a nagging question: could Sedriques DUMAS be the victim of a setup? The charges against the 29-year-old DUMAS are significant, including home invasion robbery, felony possession of a weapon by a convicted felon, felony possession of a controlled substance, misdemeanor battery, and misdemeanor drug equipment possession and/or use. The bond set at a staggering $558,500 underscores the gravity of these allegations. Naturally, the immediate reaction across social media and fight forums has been one of shock and disappointment, especially considering DUMAS's promising 10-3 professional record and his relatively recent entry into the UFC. However, before we rush to judgment, it's crucial to unpack this situation with a critical eye. While the legal system operates on the principle of presumed innocence until proven guilty, the court of public opinion often moves much faster. DUMAS's past, including a previous arrest for alleged domestic violence in February 2024, charges which were later dismissed, undoubtedly adds fuel to the fire for some. But does a history of legal entanglements automatically equate to guilt in this new case? And are there elements within the current situation that warrant a closer examination, perhaps even suggesting the possibility of a frame-up? The specifics of the charges against Sedriques DUMAS. What do we know about the alleged incident, and what are the potential legal ramifications? DUMAS's history and reputation. How might his past influence the perception of this current situation? Have opened up about the cruel concept of being framed. What are some common scenarios and motivations behind interim champion Aspinall has defended his potential red flags and inconsistencies in the initial reports, but a matchup between the pair has seemed to seem out of place or raise suspicion. Dana White continues to insist that the fight is coming, but reports from various sources are not as confident. How can we avoid jumping to conclusions based on limited information? UFC fight delays. What happens next in the legal process? I'm not getting paid. What are the possible outcomes for news about a potential title fight? Team do Tom Aspinall has continued to train. This is a complex situation with potentially devastating consequences. He showed off exactly what DUMAS's career is like during a new YouTube video. But his family's goal isn't to declare his innocence or guilt, but to explore the nuances of this case and consider all possibilities, like Aspinall not including the unsettling prospect that the Reaper there are also concerns about just legal charges as head trainer. He might be fighting for high. He is paid on the basis of his son's fight purses, of which there have been none since last summer. However, the Brit is now approaching a year out of action, which is made more egregious by the fact that his fights tend to be over in quick time. He famously has the least cage time of any UFC champion with just over 2 minutes, and hasn't been past the second round since an amateur fight 12 years ago. He's had 3 fights that have lasted a minute apiece his last 3 fights. It is what it is, but we could do with more fights. It's nice to train for somebody, but otherwise you just go to the gym and train. You like to go with a purpose. Also, this is his living and you need to be making money from your living. Especially when you're fit and healthy rather than sitting on your every day and just turning up for training all the time. In terms of purely as a coach, I'm not getting paid because Tom's not getting paid. It's not just about money, it's about, do you want your fighters to have fights when they're fit to fight? He's not having fights and it's frustrating, but what do you do? It's just a massive pain in the really, Andy told viewers. Tom is just staying fit, really. We're putting different things into his game and everybody's game that comes, but it would be really nice because he's a fighter if he could have a fight.